Hello students, this is our third class on quick revision series on electrostatics. So we have solved many interesting problems on Coulomb's law, electric field, potential and capacitors. So today also we are going to solve many more interesting problems. All the number of problems, 5 number of problems are very interesting and unique also. Then these problems are based on lines of force, a capacitor, potential and Coulomb's law. So I am DN Thatoi. Welcome you all to my new YouTube channel Physics Sketch. So now in the last video we have discussed in quick revision series 2. So we have discussed these problems. This is the time period of a simple pendulum. You know time period of simple pendulum is 2 pi L by G effective root over. So if the electric field is downward and if time period is 2 pi L by this much. If the electric field is upward, the time period is defined as 2 pi L by G minus this one. Already we have discussed in the last video. And if the electric field and gravity are perpendicular to each other, electric field is to right, gravity downward, then time period is equal to 2 pi L by G effective root over. That already we have discussed. Today we are going to solve a problem where the electric field is not there, but the pendulum is given charge Q and another charge is kept at the point of suspension of the pendulum. So now at the point of suspension of the pendulum a charge is given capital Q. The charge of the pendulum is small q. Now the gravity is equal to mg. So another force will be acting here, that is Coulombic force, that is K. This charge is Q, at the support there is a charge Q and this charge distance between them is L, so that is equal to K Q by L square. And as a result of this, so the restoring force that is going toward this toward the equilibrium, that is equal to mg sin theta. Since the restoring force is not going to change due to the Coulombic force, the time period remains the same because restoring force is equal to mg sin theta. According to Newton's second law, net force is acting on a body is equal to mass into acceleration. So here the acceleration is downward. So force along this line is mg sin theta. That is equal to net force is equal to mg sin theta. It is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass cancelled out. Then you know that is equal to g sin theta. When theta is very small, sin theta is x by L. So sin theta is very small, that is I can write x by L is equal to a. So displacement by acceleration is equal to L by g. So now from the definition, you know time period is defined as 2 pi displacement by acceleration root over. So that is equal to 2 pi, displacement is x by a is replaced by L by g. So the time period remains same. So the Coulombic force has no role here for the altering the time period of the simple pendulum. So this is a very interesting problem. So now let us come to another problem based on the Coulomb's law. Okay, let us solve the next problem we will be solving. The next problem is again, okay, the next problem is based on this. So there is a charge ring. There is a charge ring. This is a charge ring. The total charge of the ring is given lambda coulomb per meter. The charge lambda coulomb per meter. Now the question is given, if I make a small hole here, small, the length of the hole is dl. Just see, this is the small hole. If I will make a small hole here, length of the hole is dl, then what is the electric field at the center due to the remaining charge? So remaining charge, you know this one, this is the remaining charge. This is remaining charge. So now here we have to apply the principle of superposition to solve the problem. How? Look here. Now let's say the electric field, the remaining field is this direction. This is the electric field toward the hole due to the remaining portion of the charge, and electric field due to this charge dl. Let's say the charge in the ring is dq, so that the electric field will be here. This is the electric field due to the element charge dq. So if the ring is complete, you know at the center of a charge ring, electric field is equal to 0, because this point has a electric field this way, this point has a electric field this way, this point has a electric field this way. There is always equal and opposite. Net electric field at the center is equal to 0. That we know. So the electric field at the center due to the entire ring is equal to electric field due to the remaining portion, that is R E, and the electric field at the center due to this charge is equal to E dq. So now electric field is equal to this point will be 0. Then we can write electric field due to the remaining portion of the charge is equal to electric field due to the element charge dq. Then we don't know how to get the electric field due to remaining charge, but we can get the electric field due to dq, because dq becomes a point charge. Coulomb's law is applicable to point charge. That's why the electric field here due to this element is equal to this much. That is how much? That is equal to k. Charge of the element is equal to dq. The charge of the element is dq. Radius is equal to r square. That is equal to k. dq is how much? Now dq is the charge in the element whose length is dl. Then I can write the lambda is the charge for unit length. So dq is equal to lambda into dl, because lambda is the charge for unit length. Length of the element is dl, so charge of the element is equal to lambda dl. Then I can write that is lambda into dl divided by r square. So then I can write the electric field at the center due to the remaining portion is equal to this much. That is equal to k value may be written as that is equal to lambda into dl divided by k is equal to 4 pi epsilon 0 into r square. And this is the electric field at the center due to the remaining portion of the charges. Due to a remaining portion of the charges. What is the direction? The direction is towards the hole. So if this is a ring, look here please. Now this is ring. If I will make a hole here, the electric field will be towards the hole. And this is the electric field due to the remaining portion. Due to the remaining portion, and this is the value. So the electric field is towards the hole, and value is lambda dl by 4 pi epsilon 0 into r square. This is our second problem. Now come to next problem. Please note down. Okay. Now come to another problem. So the next interesting problem is based on capacitor. So now the question is, there is a capacitor. Let's say now please everybody look at here. Now this is a capacitor. This is another capacitor. These capacitors are initially charged capacitors. Let the capacitance is C1. Its potential is V1, and this capacitor is C2 and potential is V2, and this is positive, this is negative, this is positive, this is negative. The capacitance are C1 V1 and C2 V2. Let C1 is equal to 7 microcoulomb, V1 is equal to say 10 volt, and second capacitor is equal to 3 microcoulomb, and V2 is equal to 20 volt. Now both the capacitors are given like this. The question is, when the capacitor like plates are connected together, when these two will be connected together and negative plates are connected together, positive positive, negative negative, when the like plates are positive to positive and negative to negative will be connected. The question is, what is the potential of the common potential? How much charge will flow from this capacitor to this capacitor, or this capacitor to this capacitor, and what is the amount of energy lost during the process of charge flow? So how to solve the problem? So now we will be solving the problem by using the formula by T. What is that common formula? So we know that. So since this capacitor has capacitance 7, potential is V1. What is the charge here? Now Q1 is equal to Q is equal to CV.
Q is equal to CV, so obviously CV is equal to 70 microcoulomb. So here the charge Q2 is equal to 60 microcoulomb.
Now the question is, so here charge is more 70. In this case capacitor the charge is 60. Charge will never flow from high value of charge to low value of charge. Charge will flow always from high potential capacitor to low potential capacitor. So in this direction charge will flow till both the potential will be same. That same potential is called common potential. Then what is the formula of the common potential? So look here, the common potential, you know, the common potential V common C. So the common potential formula is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. This is the common potential formula if positive to positive, negative to negative are connected. So here I have connected positive to positive, negative negative in this figure. So the common potential C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2. What is C1 V1? Now C1 V1 is equal to 70 because you know Q is equal to CV. So C1 V1 means charge in this first one 70. Then what is C2 V2? C2 V is equal to 60. Then divided by what is C1 plus C2? 7 plus 3. So this is equal to now 130 divided by 10 is equal to 13 volt. After the connection, the potential of this capacitor will be 13 volt. Potential of this capacitor will be 13 volt. Then there will be no further flow of the charges. So this formula will be using to solve the problem. What is the logic? That is different thing. There may be a different class to explain why this is coming like this. Okay. Now after getting this one, now come to the case here. This capacitor becomes how much? That capacitance was 7 microcoulomb. Now potential becomes how much? That is equal to 13 volt. New charge is how much? New charge is equal to how much? That is CV. That is 7 into 3. That is equal to 91 microcoulomb. Now in this capacitor, what is your new capacitance? That is C2 remain the same. So C2 is equal to same thing 3 microfarad. Then V2 becomes how much? 13 because common potential 13 after connection. Then charge Q2 is equal to how much? That is equal to 39 microcoulomb. Now compare the case. So now please compare. So initially this is the initial case. So before connection, this is the case. This is the data before connection. Before connection, these are the data after connection. After connection, the charges will, the potential will be same 13 volt, 13 volt. Capacitor remains same. You know, capacitor is not going to change. Charges are different. Now the question is, so initially here the charge was 60 microcoulomb. Now here the charge becomes 39 microcoulomb. Then how much charge will flow? That is equal to 60 minus 39. That is equal to 21 microcoulomb charge will flow from this capacitor to this capacitor. This may be a question. So this may be a question. How much charge will flow from this capacitor to this capacitor? That is your 21 microcoulomb. So next point is, what is the common potential? The common potential is equal to 13 volt. This may be a question. Another question is, what is the amount of energy lost during this process? That also you have to calculate. Now again you please remember the common potential formula is C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. Please note down. Next point is energy loss. How much energy lost during this process? So the amount of energy loss during the process is equal to C1 C2 divided by 2 C1 plus C2 into V1 minus V2 square. This is the amount of energy lost during the process of combination. The amount of energy combination is equal to how much? C1 C2. So C1 is 7, C2 is equal to 3 divided by 2, C1 plus C2 is 7 plus 3 and V1 is 20. Let the higher potential minus lower potential. This is square. So always take 20 minus 10 square. It does not matter 20 minus 10 or 10 minus 20 because it is square. So the energy is equal to 21 into 100
divided by 20. So that is equal to 5. It is equal to 105 microjoule. So the amount of energy lost during this process is 105 into 10 to the power minus 6 joule. So these are the questions may be asked in this problem. So what are the questions? The questions is, first one is, let the question will be find out the common, so V common. So what is the common potential? So it is a question. So it is a question, how much charge will flow from this to this or this to this, that is the also a question. And what is the amount of energy loss in this process, that is also a question. So you have to apply the method and you can solve the problem. These are the formula. Okay. Next come to the another case. So where in another case where, so let's say the question will be given that in the same problem, so the this capacitor and this capacitor, that is equal to C1 is equal to 7 microfarad and potential is equal to 10 volt, and this capacitor is equal to 3 microfarad and potential is equal to 20 volt. But question is, it is positive, this is negative, this is negative, this is positive. If positive is connected to negative terminal, then what is the common potential? How much charge will flow and what is the amount of energy loss. So now here the connection is positive is connected to negative and this positive is connected to this negative. If the dissimilar poles are connected together, what is the common potential? So the common potential is, the formula will slightly change. The common potential is equal to C1 V1 difference C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. Difference means whichever is more, you take this part and this one. So now obviously it will be C1 V1 is equal to 70 minus C2 V2 is equal to C2 V2 60 divided by C1 plus 2 is equal to 10. So that is equal to 10 by 10, that is equal to 1 volt. So the common potential after connection, the charges will flow from this to that or that to this, and they will come to a common potential 1 volt. If the common potential becomes 1 volt, then what is the amount of energy loss? So the amount of energy loss, the formula will again change, it will be that is equal to C1 C2 divided by 2 C1 plus C2. So instead of V1 minus V2, it will be V1 plus V2 square. So this is the energy loss if dissimilar plates are connected together. By this process, it will be 7 into 3 divided by twice of 7 plus 3. V1 plus V2 is 20 plus 10 square, and this is the amount of energy loss you can calculate. So this is the amount of energy lost, and you will find out in this process maximum energy will be lost, because so first one plate will be neutralized, then the charge will share till their potential will be coming same. That is the concept here. Okay, this is the question number 4. Now come to another interesting problem. So look based on the lines of force. So based on the lines of force, I am going to solve the problem. Please note down. So if plate will be dissimilar, only this will be C1 V1 difference C2 V2 by C1 plus C2, and energy loss is equal to, instead of V1 minus V2, it will be V1 plus V2 this. And again you remember, the loss of energy will be maximum or more when dissimilar plates are connected together. Now there is another important problem, very important problem, and interesting also, that is the based on the lines of force. So based on the lines of force, let us solve the problem. So you will see this how it is so interesting. The question is, please look at here. This is a charge. This charge is Q1. This is another charge. This charge is equal to minus Q2. This is positive charge. This is negative charge. So this is equal to minus Q2. This is equal to minus Q2, and this charge is equal to plus Q1.
So you know lines of forces will be always from positive charge to negative charge. This is the lines of force going from one line of force is positive to negative. Another line of force will go this way. Another line of force will also go this way. So another line of force will go this way. This way. So now again, so you find out another line force is coming from this side. So another line force will go this way and touch this body. Another line force is going this way and touch this body. Another line force is coming this one. Another line force is coming this one. And this charge is Q1 plus charge and this charge is equal to minus charge. You know, if the charge is negative, lines of forces are coming to the point. If the charge is positive, lines of forces are always going from this point. Now the question is, find out the neutral point if the distance between the two charges is given 10 centimeters. So very interesting problem. Very interesting problem. So find out the neutral point. So already we have discussed, if charges are of different sign, then the neutral point will be always either left to this charge or right to this charge. And another point is, it will be on which side the which charge is less. So if Q1 is less than Q2 by magnitude, neutral point will be this side. If Q2 will be less, neutral point will be here. If both the charges are of same sign, the electric field will be in between. That also already we have known in the revision video 1. So now come to the problem here. What is the relation between lines of force here? Now the lines of forces are here is equal to phi 1. Here the number of lines of forces is equal to phi 2. These are the lines of forces. So now you know, according to Gauss law, lines of forces is defined as charge divided by permittivity. This is the lines of force. That we know. So if this is the lines of force and this is the charge, number of lines of force produced by a charge is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Then what is charge? So charge is equal to, the charge is equal to, that is equal to phi into epsilon 0. Come to the first point, charge is how much? Q1. Lines of force is how much? Let us count the number of lines of forces. Let us count the number of lines of forces how much? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number of lines of forces going out from this point is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number of lines of forces is equal to 5 into epsilon 0. Come to that charge for this charge. Now for this charge, the charge is how much? Q2. How much lines of forces here? Let us count the number of forces coming to this charge. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The number of lines of force coming to the negative charge is 10. Then you write down this is equal to 10 epsilon 0. Now this shows that the lines of the charge Q1 divided by Q2 is equal to 1 by 2. That means Q2 is double the value of Q1. So Q2 is equal to Q1. So this charge is bigger than this charge. It is negative, but the value is bigger. So if this charge is Q1, this charge Q2 is equal to minus 2 Q1, negative charge. This is how we have calculated from the lines of force concept. Lines of forces and the charge, how they are related. Now I have counted the number of lines of forces. Now again I told you already, if the charge are different, lines of the neutral point will be near to the small charge. So now Q1 is less, so neutral point will be somewhere here. Somewhere here means what distance? Let this is the x and this name of the point is neutral point. This is your neutral point. Then how to calculate the neutral point x? Now come to the discussion. Already we have discussed in the video number 1. Revision video number 1 already we have discussed. The neutral point will be discussed. This value x will be obtained by the relation, that is x is equal to q small charge modulus root over divided by q larger charge modulus root over minus q small charge
modulus root over whole into distance between the two charges. So distance between the two charges is equal to 10 centimeters. This is what already you have discussed in video 1 division series. So please refer that one. Now that q1 is q1 root over that q, this is equal to 2q1 root over that is equal to now minus q1 root over whole into 10 centimeter. So it is coming to be q1 cancelled out, that will be 1 by root 2 minus 1 whole into 10, that is equal to 10 by root 2 minus 1 centimeter. So the neutral point is near to q1, left to it by a distance of 10 by root 2 minus 1 centimeter. That may be modified, reduced to a value that is equal to 10 by you multiply root 2 plus 1 divided by root 2 minus 1 into root 2 plus 1. So it will be 10 into 1.414 plus 1 divided by that is equal to 2 minus 1. So the final result is equal to how much? This is 1, so it is coming to be 28.14 centimeter. So the neutral point is at a distance of how much? The neutral point at a distance x is equal to 28.14 centimeter. This is a very interesting problem. How to calculate a neutral point based on the lines of force. This is all about our class. I hope this time also you have enjoyed the class. Keep watching. I will be back with more number of interesting problems on lines of force and Gauss law next time. Thank you.